is an Emmy award-winning director and writer who created the television series Lost, Alias, Felicity, and the terrific new show Fringe. Please welcome J.J. Abrams. Now, I don't know, thanks for being here, first of all. We're huge fans, and I don't know if you realize what a big effect you've had on the culture. So many young people affected by your shows, you know, and your style, the visual style that you bring to your television shows, the movies that you've done. Cloverfield had such an impact on people. A horror movie with the shaking camera and the explosions.
Yeah, making everyone nauseous. That was
it was such a big effect on everyone. It had a huge effect. I started doing my monologue in the Cloverfield style for a few weeks, which I think worked pretty well. Let's take a look. Well, folks, we got a great show tonight. And it was really delighted people. Yeah.
That was very much like the movie, actually.
Yeah, that's very much the same style. I had a question for you, which is, what problem do you have with planes? Planes seem to fascinate you, and you almost want to make people dread planes. Lost begins with a horrifying plane crash. Right. Fringe opens, the new show opens with a plane filled with dead people. What is your problem with planes?
When I was a kid, I loved the airport movies. I was obsessed with them. Remember, like, the posters that had all the faces of the actors that were in the movie, like George Kennedy and Jack Lemmon, and it was just a fantastic, like, it was this epic thing. And the idea of airplanes always sort of fascinated me. And on Lost, which I created with Damon Lindelof, we wrote a lot of those airplane scenes on the plane flying to Hawaii, which was really disturbing. You know, You're writing those scenes on the plane. You know, it's like, because you start to think you're writing about this horrible turbulence, and then all of a sudden the plane shakes. You're like, not so much turbulence. And then
maybe I could use a drink about now.
Yeah, it was weird. And then on Fringe, the other creators and I, Alex Kurtzman and Bob Orsi, we just thought that this was. We didn't think, hey, let's try to rip off Lost, or we just thought this is a scary way into this very scary show.
It's also, buses just aren't as scary, you know? You couldn't.
Although we did a bus, actually.
You did a bus, yeah, that's true. But it's just like a plane. So many people have already a latent dread that's back there somewhere.
I mean, there is that thing of how do those things actually take flight? There is that sort of weird. It's kind of this thing that I don't think anyone really understands how it actually can happen. They're so enormous and so heavy. So there's a sort of fascination that I had since I was a kid. So.
The Lost theme I want to ask you about, because you are so good at using music to accentuate the dread and the horror in some of your scenes. And the Lost theme, I remember when it came out, I thought, okay, of course, that's so simple. Let's just listen to the Lost theme. This is it in its entirety, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. It's very close. It's very close.
That wasn't it, I don't even think. I think that was just a chair falling over. That's not even it. But what was the idea? Because did the network want to pressure you into like a Gilligan's Island song that explains, and the plane went down and this guy who was in a wheelchair could walk, you know.
Smoke monster But the idea was, I do the theme songs to the shows that I've created or co-created, and mostly because no one else would let me do that. And I've always loved the idea of theme music. Like when I was a kid, I would listen to, soundtracks all the time, and TV themes. There's probably not a better piece of music ever than like the Sanford and Son theme. It's a spectacular piece of music.
Amazing,
Quincy Jones. But I love, theme music. So I sort of done my own stuff. On Felicity and Alias and those shows, I did these elaborate themes. On Lost, I found a really cool, scary synthesizer patch, basically. And I hit one note, and it's just like... Right. So, and I won an award for that theme. Whenever I've used more than one note, I've won nothing.
You're enraging so many musicians right now.
You have no idea. Yeah.
I just set my coffee down on the synthesizer and I got an award. You almost went with the G and you went with the D. I love that.
I got an ear. Yeah.
You put. I've heard that you'll put odd sounds into a soundtrack of one of your movies or shows to help create the suspense, but I've never quite understand what it is I'm hearing. I know it's scary, but I don't know what it is I'm hearing.
There are these weird things that sound guys can do where they actually put in very strange sound effects that you would not think would be there, like a lion roar, like just before a crash, like weird little things that I've learned actually help augment the moment. And it's a very strange thing, but these are like the tricks that these amazing sound mixers and engineers
It's probably like in our DNA.
That's right.
We fear a lion.
That's exactly right.
It's from caveman times,
that's right.
so you put it in, you know.
That's exactly what it is. There's a weird, visceral, sort of immediate reflexive reaction that you have to these things, so that when you actually listen to soundtracks, there are layers and things you'd never know were in there.
You seem, you know, I was a fan of yours, then I got to meet you when we worked together a little bit on something for the Emmys. I don't know why people laughed at that. I was a fan. Oh, now I am no longer. I guess that's where they're going. I was a fan, and then I just decided, enough with J.J. Abrams, and I'll tell him on television. No, I was a fan first, and then we got to meet each other, and I was struck, I have to say, a little bit by the fact that you trade in such strange ideas, such creatively strange ideas and disturbing ideas, and then I met you, very nice, normal guy. Where did these strange ideas come from?
I don't know. I mean, the people I work with and I sort of just kind of all like to inspire each other, and I think it's sort of the idea of like the Twilight Zone, like Rod Serling sort of inspired me. The idea of trying to like figure out what's the weirdest idea. A lot of times, you know, like I hear things that like my kids say, and I think that's like the other day we were at this like there was like an adopt-a-pet thing near a park, and my kid, 2.5 years old, was like looking at these kittens in this cage. He was just like, staring at the kittens for like 3 minutes, just staring at them. I was watching him, and he was like, staring at them. And he looks at me and goes, "Can they talk?" Like, he didn't know. And I thought, well, no, they can't. I thought, but that would be cool.
Right.
You know. And I'm now going to do a show about talking kittens. No, I'm not going to do it. But it was that
Coming
kind of thing.
next from J.J. Abrams, Talking Kitty.
It's not bad, actually.
Yeah. It's brought to you by the Smucker's Jam people. I'm trying to get work for all of us here. Were you a big? We're so out of time, but were you a big fan of The Night Stalker?
Oh yeah, love
that show. Almost changed my life when I was a kid. Do you remember that show, The Night Stalker? Yeah, I just thought, and it was so unusual, and
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved The Night Stalker. It was a great, and you know, that was one of the inspirations for Fringe.
Right. It was a funny show that also was haunting and scary in such original ways.
I love that crazy combination of humor and fear.
That's what I do every night. I'm laughing and I'm horrified. Fringe airs, which is the new show, and you have to see it. It's terrific. Fringe airs Tuesday nights at 9 on Fox, so watch it. J.J. Abrams is a real thrill to have you here. Thank you so much. We'll be right back. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Stick around.